We have done it, my friends. As a free-to-play player, I couldn't be more proud, and we have it for you here today. Level 80, boss 80, tray 80, whatever you want to call it. The Endless Strawberry Cake Tower is for you here today with the Animatronic of Deceit. Thank you for tuning in. As always, if you enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. On top of that, if you got a question, if you got a comment, certainly let me know, because I'd love to hear from you. As always, I know this is a very, very tough one. Very hard for me. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. On top of that, would love to see you in our amazing Discord server and community, my friends. I know many of you have also beat this. I know many of you have been waiting for it, and that's why we're doing it for you here today. Now, down below, you can find plenty of other information in the details, along with our timestamps, where we will give you the 4 T's. That's the tactics, the team, the treasure, and the toppings as we work our way through this Animatronic of Deceit boss here. We'll go for that run and pull it all back together as we always do. So looking forward to our journey and today's free-to-play player guide for you on the Endless Strawberry Cake Tower Tray 80. So let's get into it here. Couple things. This one I spent a significant amount of time on. I'll talk through it. I'll break it down. I'll give you everything that you need to know on how I worked my way through and overcame the Animatronic of Deceit. I did also spend some of my precious crystals here in order to be able to do it. Now, most of that, pretty much everything of it, was more to invest and invested into my Beast Skits, making a couple key changes in my Beast Skits in order to make it happen, primarily by adding more of my substats and really honing in on key substats in order to get by, and we'll talk through that a little bit more here in a little bit. However, let's work our way through the tactics as always first. So first and foremost, level 80 boss here is the Animatronic of Deceit. This thing is a pain, and it is an absolute pain. Now, a couple things about that here. It has 2 phases. First, once you get through the first phase, there is a second phase. The good thing is the second phase is a little bit more expedited. We'll talk about some of the timing stuff here as we get into it, because it is very important. And there's some very key things that you need in order to happen, at least for me as a free-to-play player. I think it couldn't be easier with certainly more promoted cookies, ascension cookies, all that stuff. However, this will give you all the details. Now, a couple things about this boss here. We do have paper puppets. Becomes vulnerable to fire. Has paper dagger throw, deals damage to the nearest target. It also has puppet show rehearsal, deals damage to the 2 furthest targets cookies first, dragging enemies along and reducing their move speed. So don't forget about that. The reason why I bring this up is it starts to hit a lot of your back targets, which can be a problem, which is usually your healers or your support. So keep that in mind. We also have summon paper soldiers there. Summons paper soldiers happens fairly often, fairly quick, so keep that in mind. Strings of Destruction deals damage to all targets and applies Vampiric Bite. We also have the ability to get access to a buff here. Buffs will be applied when our team meets those requirements. So here, if you have 2 cookies of 2A or higher, so that's 2 Ascension cookies, you get 20% fire attack. Absolutely, yes, this is a big thing if you can make it work. A couple of key cookies a lot of people like to use, so I hear. Tart Titan. One that I found that works really nice is Street Urchin. I'm just going to throw that out there for you, because a lot of times this one does a ton more damage actually. So just throwing that out there for you in case you want to do it. Or you can be like me, not use any fire, and we're going to show you that here in a second. Now, a couple things that we also have and can take advantage of. Guardian Strike summons Elder Fairy Sword that deals critical damage to nearby enemies. Sword deals reduced damage to bosses and can dispel the target's ongoing effects for a certain period of time. So again, very important to keep in mind. We also have special conditions here. In this battle, cookies will have certain stats adjusted. Min cookie level 70, min cookie skill level 70, min cookie grade is 5 stars. So again, all my stuff is 5 star. However, again, we got to take advantage. We can take advantage of those 2A. I don't have that in this particular one behind us. We'll continue to talk about these things. Bond, sugar gnomes, laboratory cost effects, all that stuff, bonus topping effects, don't matter. I'm very sad, particularly in all the time they spend in my research. You can check that video out here on the channel, how long it takes. Excuse me. Now, a couple of things here. I'm crying and laughing out of joy. Not really, just kidding. So what does that mean? That means Beast Skits really matter. That's why, going back to what I said, I had to make those changes, make those adjustments in order to get by this, and I've spent a ton of time here in order to do it. I know many of you have asked, thank you for being so patient on how to beat this. We're going to talk now exactly on how I did it. So here is exactly what I did, my friends. I went all in on electric type. That is what I did. Now here I am able to take advantage of 2-star because of this. I still was not able to get the team to work properly for the way that I needed it to with these 2-star. So I've tried multiple renditions. You can see other renditions here as well. I'm giving you a couple ideas on teams, tart to tan there, or some other things. My teams ultimately were not strong enough to do it. This team was the one that got me through Animatronic of Deceit. I'm very proud of this, and this is a lot of work for me, and we'll talk about some of these other pieces. So again, we go all in on electric. What we're doing here is our main 2 damage dealers are Twizzle. We also have Black Lemonade in here, and obviously Stormbringer now. Not necessarily, well, technically, if you got Stormbringer during the free period, and it's still a free period, technically can consider that free to play. And we have Linder here as well. All these cookies are available to you in the mileage shop, so you can get them there if you need them. I am very fortunate with the cream puff cookie here. We got a great guild, so I really am thankful about having that all the time. Now, a couple things about this. It is a very RNG piece, so I don't know exactly. I ran probably 100 times. I'm not kidding on this. I don't know how many exactly it's going to take. I will continue to run it so that you can see it get beat, and make sure we have that and let you know. A couple things on why I say that is this. If you see what my treasures are, so let's talk about these treasures now. I am heavy into crit. So I could not get there enough of the way on attack. So I said, okay, what are we going to use to beef up our damage even more? We're going to go into crit. So here we're heavily focused on 42% for electricity types, which is huge. We have an additional 15 for allies as well at the beginning, increases crit. So that's 55+% damage. Huge. So again, every other hit is essentially crit. Now, again, that's also why I say some of that RNG in there, because you might not hit that consistently that way. The higher your crit is, the better it's going to be. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. I went decreases cooldown for all cookies by 21%, increases their attack. I need to lift their attack a little bit. I also am okay with the slight decrease on the timing because of Linder. So we'll talk about that here in a second as well. Certainly, though, you could go this route here with Squishy Jelly Watch. And you could try a couple of other things. This is the rendition that did work for me. You really got to focus on crit. I can't say it enough. You don't want to get away from these. That's just what did it for me. So, and something different. It is different. Now, a couple things about this. Why does it matter in terms of the toppings and Beast Skit? So first and foremost, as we always say, Resonant, Radiant where it makes sense. We also have all the guides available to you here on the channel. Check those out, my friends. We give you a lot of options as well. We give you a main recommendation, and that includes Beast Skits. So a couple things here. We are heavily focused on crit. So when it comes to Stormbringer, we're on crit. Beast Skit effect, we have 4 of them here. Generally, you're going to need 3 or 4 to make this one work, at least for me as that free-to-play player. I did spend a lot of crystals in order to move it into that 3 to 4 slot for most of these, and then I did also hyper focus on making some of these other adjustments. Here we got cooldown, here we got crit, here we got resist bypass, and more crit. So I'm okay with the crit and bypass. I'd probably get rid of HP, and I may even get rid of cooldown if there were 2 adjustments I were to make of this one. In terms of Black Lemonade, again, we are on crit. Here we're on bypass, more bypass. You absolutely want to be on bypass. And then we got more crit again. So to give you that idea, here are our main effects in terms of everything that you can see on this cookie. You can see how we're set up on the equip effect. And then the topping effect is going to be capped. We are on that crit as well, so you can see that. So that's a lot of crit, my friends. We're critting every time with this cookie. Don't forget it. Now when we move down here, we're on crit as well. There's our equip effect. We're at 55. Topping effect 45, so you can see that, plus the Beast Skit effect. So like I was saying, we got about 50% on the stack. So what that means is every time we're practically critting. So keep that in mind. Now that is that one. When we go to Linder here, Linder, we're actually on caramel. What that's going to do is increase attack speed. Why are we doing that? Well, Linder's ability flips to getting the suspect stacks on attack. What this is going to do is it's going to guarantee 7 stacks before you hit an attack. That is why we did that. Now, in the terms of the Beast Skit effect, here we got damage resist, we got HP and damage resist. Linder needs survivability, my friends. I cannot say that more. You need to be able to survive. Damage resist could be higher. I didn't get 4 on him. I do have 3. Those are a couple of key things. Linder can die real easily. Then, so here's our equipped effect. Here's our topping effects. Attack speed. All right. Now we have Twizzle Gummy. Twizzle Gummy was a huge change that I made, at least to my team. On top of that, we do have the magic candy. I'll show that here in a second. Here we have, again, crit. Our equip effect, 53%. Topping effect, 45. Beast Skit effect here. Right, we did have 4. I had this on Tart to Tan. I moved it over here to make it work. Cooldown, crit, damage resist, bypass. Again, get that stuff through, my friends. Now, ultimately, we're right about 100%, right? Close. There we go. 100%. Then here, last but not least, we're on crit. We have our equip effect, 50%. We're going to be critting on our heals, which is great. And our Beast Skit effect right there. Debuff resist, damage resist, HP. I would move debuff, the damage resist if you can. Those kinds of things. So giving you some other ideas to think about. So pretty much 100% across the board. So that is my strategy through crit to deal more damage and get through. Originally, it was time, then it was damage, and then it was time and damage. And this was the team that made it work for me. So those are all the key pieces for this particular team in order to make it happen. My Twizzle Gummy right now is at 12. We can go up another one. We're absolutely going to do that because that little extra damage might make a huge difference for us. I promise. You don't need it to be at 13. You can do it with 12 if your stats are similar to mine. All in, we're 1.3 million damage, my friends. So now, we gave you the tactics, we gave you the team, we gave you the treasures, toppings plus Beast Skits. Let's talk about a couple things here as we get into this. First and foremost, time is of the essence. The first wave, we want to try and get out of there by 146, 147. We will use one of these there just to get by. The next piece, you don't need to, but you can. You can get interrupted on sleep and other things that can come up. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start to hit Animatronic of Deceit, and we're going to run into the Summon Paper Soldiers. Use it on the first one, skip on the second, use it on the third one. Ideally, what you're going to try and do is make sure and ensure Linder's stacks are on Animatronic of Deceit. Sometimes the stacks will not go on it, so keep that in mind. It makes a huge, huge difference. The more stacks through the first half of the battle, it's going to speed up the battle. In the second half of the battle, the sooner you can get those stacks on, that's going to help you guarantee victory. You can get up to 2 chances to get stacks on Animatronic of Deceit. So if you can land it right when it gets over, that's huge. Otherwise, you need to land one as soon as possible to close it out. You might get close sometimes, or often, or not often. However, this is the one that's going to make it happen. That is the key to this battle. I will try and do it on auto for the most part, and at high speed for the most part. You can slow it down in order to get by this. I do want you to know that. It's very important. It's one of the very few battles that I went second by second in order to try and get by. So that, my friends, is my breakdown. The 4 T's, the additional tactics team spiel here for you to understand, just in case I don't quite get it as we go into our battle. Let's go for it here, my friends. Absolutely. So here's what we're going to do. Right away, we're going to wait till this stuff creeps in just a little bit. Right there. Boom. Done. 147. That's our first marker, first milestone that really matters here. Now, here's the second one. Right after Cream Puff goes off, those things come up and gone. We're going to wait for the second one. Now, watch where Linder's going to hit. We got it on Linder. We get enough damage in there. The second one, I'm actually going to trip up on purpose right at the 2 slot. I missed. Why do I do that? Sometimes that allows Linder's ability to get through. That situation was very unlucky. We lost Linder. If you lose Linder or you lose Cream Puff, you are absolutely, positively not going to get through. Rinse and repeat. Here we go. All right, zap, smack. Here we are, suspect in. Done. On again. Hit hard. There we go. And right about 3. The 2. There it is. Okay, now we can slow it down. So after this one, we got to pay a lot of attention to what's going on. Not quite taking auto off yet. There's the suspect again. Why we're timing this one is so that when we get down to the last conversion into phase 2, we can make sure that we have the suspect lined up properly. We'll keep it on there because we need it. Still not quite enough. There we go. We're on auto. Speed it up. There it is. All right, this can be our make or break run, my friends. We got 16 seconds left. We dropped our suspect, though. Is it going to be enough? We did it. Yes. Yes. Ah. That feels so good, my friends. So good. So, a couple things there. Let's pull this all back together and break down exactly, again, that process, that line, in order to get by Endless Strawberry Cake Tower, Tray 80, Level 80, Boss 80, Animatronic of Deceit. So, a couple of key things. With this particular team, drop the lovely Guardian Strike. Now also here, don't forget the sword deals reduced damage to the boss and can dispel the target's ongoing effects. So this is why it's really important on that skip one. So let's talk about that here in a second. So you get through the first one, you drop that, you get to 147, you get to the first clear, drop it, because you got to clear that group because your team's resetting. That's right, on their cooldown. In the second grouping, they can take it down. In the third grouping, what you're doing is you're dropping this to dispel anything to make sure that your suspect stays on. That's what you need to do. And in the back half of the battle, what we did is we managed it by slowing down the time and making sure that Linder stacks were hitting when we still need them to hit, pulled them off when we get to that phase 2, and that's going to make the world of difference. If you can get to that phase 2 with about 30 seconds left, that's going to help close everything together. My friends, this has probably, for sure, been one of the hardest things that I put a ton of time in for this particular guide for you. So many of you have asked me about this one. I've been on it for you, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. With that, thank you as always. I appreciate you tuning in. If you have a question, if you get a comment, let me know, because I'd love to hear from you as always. And feel free to join us in our amazing Discord server and community. We really do have a great crew. Lots of people helping in there. I get questions all the time. So many other people in there. Thank you to that, everyone. Seriously. Lots of people have got through this too. You can check out some great strategies from them. This is mine. This is my own brew in order to get by and get this done. With that, again, thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate your support. Thank you for the likes and the subs. as we continue to grow this amazing community here. On top of that, thank you so much to all of our members. You can watch all the play of this in our memberships if you're interested in it. So feel free, they're available to you. On top of that, we got affiliate links that you can check out. And last but not least, my friends, don't forget our socials, @me, chat me, stay connected. We got a merch and swag store as well. All great ways to support. With that, we'll see you again soon. Whew. I need a breather, my friends. That was a ton of runs that you did not see unless you're checking out the membership stuff. With that, we'll see you again soon. Onwards and upwards in the cake tray. Tower tray 80 is now complete. Keep on running, my friends. There is no more deceit.